My story, my yoga journey, a one-eyed approach to yoga. Hi, I'm Mark Breadner. This is YogaCoach. It's a channel for yoga teachers who want to step up in their teaching. They want to transition from studio to online business, and they want to be at the leading edge of health, well-being, and transformation on the planet. So hit the subscribe button, hit the bell, and you'll be notified every time there's a new video. I often get asked, why do you wear a patch for? Do you want to be a yoga pirate? Or is it just for aesthetics? And I'm not that strong on branding. So no, I'm actually missing an eye. And I lost that eye in a surfing accident when I was just before 50. So 15, 16 years ago. And it was pretty interesting. I've been surfing all of my life and thousands and tens of thousands of waves. And I've had my fair share of injuries, but it's really, 10 waves out of all those thousands of waves. And at the time, I was surfing my local point, Cronulla Point, and it was on the outer reef, and it was a big wave and just pulled into the barrel backhand. And it vacuumed out, and I went onto my back, and the board came around, and it's got a pintail on it, and it speared with the force of the lip of the wave through my eye. It went through the eye socket to my brain. It cut my face from here to here. It was all gashed open, cut the nerve, paralyzed my face. Still paralyzed, but movement back there again. I went down the tunnel, the whole bit, unconscious, came to. Still couldn't see. Waves washing over. I'm kind of scream out to my mates, and three of them come over, and they're like, they're gone grey, and they're like, oh no, just a flesh wound, buddy. Let's paddle in. So it took 20 or 30 minutes to paddle in, and we jumped in the car and went up to the hospital, and a couple of 5-hour surgeries. And my mum was freaking out, as mums do, and she came to the hospital, and she told me this much later in life, just before she was passing. She said, when I came to the hospital and I was freaking out about your eye, you said something to me, and it really impacted me because I know that you meant it. And she said, oh, darling, your eye, you're going to lose your eye. And I just said matter-of-factly, it's cool, Mum. It's no big deal. I got another one. And I did, and I meant it. And I don't know if it's because of my yoga practice or karmic yogic lifetimes, but I really meant it. And it was just that understanding of impermanence, that nothing lasts, and it was all okay. I did have another eye. And one thing I'd say about it is what's wonderful about the yoga community, they really rallied around and supported and raised money and did all those sorts of things for helping me out. And I was in hospital for 3 or 4 days, and I checked myself out because I was teaching that weekend, lecturing, and I turned up to the lecturing, and they're like, what the hell are you doing here? But I'm so passionate about yoga. I'm so passionate about educating, and I just didn't want to lay in the bed. So I turned up and I lectured for that weekend. Probably shouldn't have. I felt pretty wiped at the end of it. But like I always say, now I've developed a one-eyed approach to yoga, but I'd had that for a long, long, long time. And what I mean by that is I'd really kind of stood out there in the sense of that yoga was not asana, that yoga was not a physical practice, that yoga was a system of transformation to transform the whole being. And I was really adamant about that. And that's the direction that we needed to go in. And I could be outspoken about it and I don't know, opinionated about it, much less so now, each to their own. But I think like the lessons that we get through yoga are so invaluable, and one of them is impermanence. And the more and more you travel along the path is that everything here on the external is finite, and at some time it is going to go. It doesn't matter how long it stays here for, it is going to go. And when we understand this, and we understand it as a teaching, as an embodied teaching, it allows us to navigate life with so much more ease. We don't get caught up in life being a certain way. And that the whole essence of yoga, the teaching, is that once you understand the internal reality, once you connect to this, then it doesn't matter what happens on the outside. Because once the internal reality, the spiritual, is embraced, once it's understood, once it's embodied, then this will always go on happening. But no matter what does happen, we stay centered, we stay even, we stay inclusive. And it's one of the beautiful gifts of yoga, and that's why I'm so one-eyed about it, is because once we can take these teachings of the masters who map them out in text, we have them at our fingertips. Once we can take that and systematically and methodically practice it ourselves, but teach our students how to do it, it's such an incredible gift that we give to ourselves, that we give to our communities, that we give out to whoever we work with. I also thought maybe if I lose an eye, then my third eye would get stronger. It didn't work. So don't go out popping eyes out for that. Didn't work. But my third eye has definitely got stronger by doing the yoga practices, by doing the Kriya practices, by doing Laya Yoga, by doing Tantra, and understanding how that process works, the shift and changing of consciousness and how the brain functions and how it works, and how we get to that place beyond the mind where we tap into absolute stillness, where we tap into this greater intelligence. And then that's when we don't need these physical eyes, because we see all as it is. These physical eyes are bound by our stories, our beliefs, our attitudes. We see what we want to see, right? And we can try to not see what we don't want to see. But once these become switched off in a way, and this center opens up, we see life as it truly is. And that is my wish for you. So if you like the video, hit the subscribe button, and we'll see you on the next video. One-handed Namaste, Shaka. Peace.